Being a capital A assassin is not just about stealth killing your way through certain historical time periods. It's also about looking darn awesome while you do it. If it wasn't partly about that, we wouldn't have the beaked hood, the awesome robes, and the hidden blade. Let's just be honest, that plays a part in it. This also applies to how we take out enemies in stealth, and we're going to go over a lot of ways today as to how to do that in a way that is not just efficient, but also feels very satisfying to do it as you do it, I guess. So without further ado, remember, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave it a big old like. If you enjoy content like this, you want more like it, be sure to check out that button underneath the video. It used to be red, it still says subscribe. Last but not least, gotta thank my channel members. You guys help make these videos possible. If you wanna join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, be sure to check out that blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. First tip of the day is going to be explore your tools. Tools are going to be something that you will unlock mainly through the skill tree, but you will get a couple of choices to start the game. One is, well, it's just going to give you throwing knives, so that's going to be one tool slot, but then you will get a second tool slot that you can choose which tool that you want to take. Personally, I went with smoke bomb. I think that's the most useful and probably the most powerful of the tools, but you can pick whichever one that you want. That said, make sure that you explore them in a way as to not just say, hey, this one's the best one, use it over and over. No, some of these tools are actually supposed to be used in conjunction with one another. Especially as you upgrade them, you'll notice certain abilities actually play really, really well with each other. And you should 100% look at ways to combine the two together. Say, for example, a really simple one is use noisemakers to attract a bunch of guards together, pop them with smoke bombs, and then you can either jump in and just assassinate them one at a time. You can use assassin focus to take them each out in a little kind of quick succession there. There's a lot of ways that you can combine the tools, and if you want to get a little bit more advanced, throw smoke one direction, hit assassin focus to take out a couple of other guards, and then you finish right back where you threw the smoke and it lands at your feet as soon as assassin focus finishes, and then you take out the rest in succession. It's really, really satisfying, and you can do this with a multitude of tools. Again, don't be afraid to just stop, infiltrate random restricted areas, test these out. There's nothing wrong with that. Play around with it, find which ones work best to you, and then when you are in missions and stuff, you can do this in a very efficient and satisfying way. The next tip I have is going to be roll around. Now, both in crouched mode and while sprinting, if you hit the dodge button, Bassam will do a roll. This is great for one, if you're sprinting, it keeps up momentum, because it will actually it's a little bit faster to roll around. Almost, if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, that game, the rolls really keep up your momentum. This is another game where there's a similar effect with the roll. Now, in terms of stealth, the best way to use it is when you are crouched down. So if you need to close a gap really quickly while crouched, that's the best way to do it. You just, if you're coming out from behind cover, let's say, and you just roll right to your target, take them out, you'll get a good feel as to the distances and how to do it, and you'll be able to get to guys very, very quickly. It's also great because it is so quick and you are so compact when you're doing it that it keeps you from being seen from potential, say, archers that are on an opposite rooftop or something. It's just a very quick and easy way to go about clearing guards in an efficient manner. Tip number 3, assassin focus is not just for awesome chain kills. Yes, that is what it's advertised as, but it does have uses for positioning. Positioning is a major factor when it comes to quick and efficient stealth play, because if you are coming from a particular position, especially high ground, you have a massive advantage over the guards that are trying to stop you from getting to set objective. Now, the way you can do this is if you see a guard, say, on the corner of a fort or on some high ground in a fort that you want to get to, pop assassin focus, hit that particular guard with it, and then you are in that position. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a guard that is on high ground. If you find a position that is really strategic for you, I say go for it. Just don't put yourself in harm's way by popping assassin focus thinking you're going to be in a better position, but you end up just standing there where another guard can see you. Make sure you're scouting out around the area, but it is a great way to get positions that are extremely strategically valuable very, very quickly. Next one on the list, you don't have to kill every single guard. One of the tenets of the Creed is to stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. That does sometimes apply to the guards, and sometimes there's just puzzles that the developers have put in front of us that are just not necessary to stop and try and solve. Maybe there's 2 guards that are standing and they're just too far apart necessarily for a smoke bomb or to quickly take out with a sleep dart. Just walk around them if you can. There's plenty of times where that opportunity is available. Don't slow yourself down by having to take out every single guard in a particular area. Take out the ones that are only essential. Now, sometimes you just can't really tell, and maybe you have to take out a majority of them just to feel good about going there. But as you play, and hopefully they add replayable missions in here, you'll figure out, oh, maybe I didn't necessarily have to take that guard out. Maybe I didn't have to take these two out. Maybe I could just walk right past them or climbed right past them, or there's a window somewhere. You'll start to learn and pick these things up. And as you go, you'll find that you're able to accomplish objectives much easier and much quicker. Now, if you just want to take out every guard in an area, more power to you, not telling you not to do it. But if your goal is to accomplish, whether it's gathering intelligence or take out a target, if your goal is to accomplish that objective and you want to do it in the quickest way possible, I highly recommend only taking out the guards that you absolutely need to take out. Up next, unlock tools and multi-kills first. Those are going to be the skills that I say try to get as quickly as possible. One, the chain kill just makes it easier to take out 2 guards if you are in kind of a jam, or maybe they're a little more spread out than you want to, or it's just a little too slow or a little too risky to try and take one out and move to the other one. This will make sure that if you take out one, you're also going to take out the other, so you don't have to worry about getting spotted quite as easily. And then, of course, when it comes to the tools, it's just giving you more of an array of weapons to use to be able to take out guards or to get through areas unseen. It really just expands your arsenal and makes you more effective as an assassin, whether it's as an information gatherer or as someone who is trying to take out a target. Last but not least, rework your control scheme. For some reason, default control scheme in this game just feels awkward. And honestly, it might be difficult to find one that feels less awkward. I know, because I am trying to, but there's a couple things I highly recommend. One definite that I think everyone should make the change for is moving sprint off of the left stick click and moving it to your right trigger or R2 on PlayStation, just because that way you have the constant feedback of sprinting, so that when you do go to roll, you don't do a dodge instead, and that kills your momentum. It just gives you that constant feedback. You know that you're sprinting. When you just do the left stick click, you don't always have that feedback. You don't always know if you're sprinting. So always just have that right trigger push down. You know that you're sprinting. You know that you can roll when you're moving. And then what you do with the tools, instead of having that be on the right trigger, move that to D-pad down. It honestly feels a little bit more natural having it there, and I've enjoyed having it there so far. So that is one change I think everyone should make. But one that I've been struggling to try and fix and figure out is being able to take the assassinate button and the attack button and separate them. For some reason, it's been very difficult to try and do this. And honestly, if any of you have figured something out for yourself, feel free to share it in the comments down below just to make everyone's experience a little bit better. I'm trying to work on a video where I can talk more in depth about this and see which control setup actually will work really well for everyone. So subscribe for that. And like I said, let me know down below what you found yourself. I would love to have a conversation with you. But that being said, try to find a way to do that. I personally have a couple of different control schemes that I'm working with. I have one where I did put assassinate to the X button, and it moved around a lot of buttons that would feel really awkward if you don't have an elite controller or something like that with paddles on it. So I won't get too much into that as to not confuse you, but I would definitely say play around with it. Be quick, but don't be stupid. Few things evoke a feeling of coolness quite like quickly, efficiently, and rhythmically taking out guards in Assassin's Creed. Don't be too hasty as to not plan ahead of your approach or watch for pathways or time things accordingly. It's okay if you have to stop and wait for a second, but once you get in that rhythm, make sure that your hidden blade hits each beat accordingly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other tips that you want to share, feel free to leave comments down below. I would love to hear them, and it will just help other players out there. Either way, let me know your thoughts on Mirage. Let's have a conversation, and I will see you in the next video.